Hey, it's Ron, and I want to tell you a story about business and how that story changed everything. The glass is fogged from the heat inside, but the boy presses closer anyway. A tin soldier lifts its arm, a wooden horse rocks, and a tiny steam engine circles a painted mountain on a track no wider than a ribbon. Behind that plate glass, hundreds of gas lights shimmer, reflecting off polished brass and red velvet. It's the kind of scene every New York child waits for in December. The famous Macy's windows on 6th Avenue. The crowd outside is thick with mufflers and mittens, parents lifting children onto their shoulders so that they can see the new mechanical displays. That little boy's breath freezes against the glass. He tugs at his sister's sleeves, eyes wide. Inside, he can see the tree glittering with glass ornaments and the polished counters stacked with toys, bolts of fabric, and candy jars that seem to stretch forever under the chandeliers. But here's the surprise. It isn't Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. While nearly every other store in Manhattan stands dark and locked, Macy's is open. The year is 1873, 6 years after R.H. Macy first broke tradition by unlocking his doors on Christmas Day in 1867. What began as a single experiment to handle overflow crowds has now become a citywide ritual. As the door is unlocked, a bell chimes above, and the boy's sister pulls him inside. The crowd follows, and within a few hours, Mr. Macy's reflecting back once again on that once scandalous decision that reshaped how America celebrates and spends December. But what makes a store decide to open its doors on the one day the rest of the city shuts down? How does a single break from tradition turn into a national expectation? And on December 25th, 1873, how did Macy's once again prove that Christmas could be both a holiday and a business model? From Business Basics, I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the daily podcast where we explain the stories that changed business forever. Throughout history, every date of the year has a story where business reshaped the world. Today, December 25th, that story takes us to 1867. By the 1860s, New York's department stores were turning shopping into a spectacle. Plate glass windows, gaslight, and fixed prices made the experience accessible and exciting. R.H. Macy's store on 6th Avenue led the charge. Part retail experiment, part social theater. He wasn't just selling goods, he was selling an experience. See, the problem was demand. By 1867, Macy's had outgrown every prediction. His one-price policy and aggressive advertising drew crowds that overwhelmed the store in the final days before Christmas. Clerks couldn't keep up, lines wrapped around the block, and stockrooms emptied before closing time. Most stores in the city shut their doors tight on the holiday, citing both custom and conscience. But Macy saw an opportunity where others saw a boundary. That first December, when the crowd still hadn't thinned, he kept his doors open, not just through Christmas Eve, but into Christmas Day itself. It wasn't premeditated genius, it was desperation mixed with instinct. Yet it worked. The public came in droves. Newspapers reported astonishment that a store would stay open on Christmas, and criticism followed. Ministers denounced it. Rival shopkeepers called it indecent. But the cash registers kept ringing, and the customers kept coming. For R.H. Macy, that one day proved a larger idea. Shopping itself was becoming an event, not just a transaction. The department store was no longer a place to buy necessities, it was becoming a destination, and commerce had officially claimed a place in the holiday calendar. Over the next few years, other merchants followed. What had started as a one-day experiment became the new rhythm of the season. Christmas shopping extended later and later, transforming the week before the holiday into a commercial performance. Macy doubled down on showmanship. The store introduced elaborate holiday windows, live carolers, and indoor trees hung with imported glass ornaments. Clerks wore ribbons, musicians played on the main floor. Buying gifts became part of how families celebrated Christmas itself. The shift didn't stop at the store's doors. Newspapers and magazines began running holiday gift ideas. Advertisers sold not just products, but sentiment, love, generosity, family. The language of giving merged with the language of selling. By the 20th century, Macy's Christmas strategy had evolved into an empire of tradition. Thanksgiving parades, holiday catalogs, and Santa's throne at the back of the store. The lines between sacred, social, and commercial had blurred permanently. And it didn't end there. Fast forward to today, when the question isn't whether a store will open for Christmas, but whether it dares to close. Retailers chase convenience, then face backlash for excess. The cycle that began with one unlocked door in 1867 still plays out every December, a tug-of-war between profit and pause.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Every generation since has tried to draw the line that R.H. Macy erased. For decades, holiday commerce only grew louder, from department store windows to mail-order catalogs, then to malls and midnight sales. Each new technology brought a new reason not to stop. By the early 2000s, retail had gone full circle. The race for revenue stretched through Thanksgiving and straight into Christmas Day. Convenience became competition, and shoppers learned to expect the lights to stay on. But eventually, the backlash arrived. Workers pushed back. Customers complained that always open had started to feel like never rest. In recent years, even major chains like Target, Walmart, and Best Buy have begun reversing course, closing on Christmas, some even shuttering on Thanksgiving, returning a sense of pause to the season. That public relief, the quiet streets, the darkened store windows, is proof that the conversation Macy started in 1867 never really ended. His gamble created more than a shopping day. It created a question we still haven't answered. How much convenience is too much? How much business belongs inside a holiday built for stopping? December 25th, 1867, the day a department store taught America that once you unlock the doors, it's really hard to close them again. I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the daily podcast that finds the turning points behind the headlines. To hear more stories like this, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And if you're enjoying the stories, don't forget to subscribe and maybe leave us a quick review. It helps more people find the story behind the business. Do you want to actually understand business without the fluff or the buzzwords or the MBA language? Start by visiting businessdailypodcast.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.